Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called Realm.
Ever feel like you're just drowning in information at work? Like, you know the answer's out there somewhere,
Yeah.
right? In that, like, endless sea of files and emails and stuff, but actually finding it feels impossible.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're talking about today.
Okay.
This whole deep dive is about this Finnish AI startup, Realm. They say they're building the future of, like, knowledge access.
The future, huh?
Yeah, like giving your team a perfect shared memory,
Yeah.
you know?
Interesting.
We've got their website and then that breakdown from that, the best AI YouTube channel.
Okay.
So let's jump in, see if Realm like lives up to all the hype.
Well, what I think is so fascinating here is that they're not just like trying to build a better search bar. It's more than that. This is a problem that's been around forever. You know, people who work with knowledge, they've been wrestling with this for years.
So you're saying no more like keyword searches that get you all these irrelevant results, like you're spending hours just sifting through stuff.
Exactly. Hours wasted. Realm uses, like AI and natural language processing. Basically, you can interact with your information way more naturally.
Okay.
Like, imagine, right, you're able to ask, what were the key takeaways from, say, last quarter's marketing campaign?
Yeah.
And instead of getting a bunch of links, you get a clear, concise answer. Like, it pulls from all your company's data, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea behind Realm.
Okay, but that's a bold claim, right?
Yeah.
Because most AI tools I've used, they still feel kind of clunky. What makes their approach different?
It's about moving beyond just, simple keyword matching. So it's not just, oh, these words are in the document. It's more than that. Realm's AI actually tries to figure out the meaning. Like, what do you mean? What's the context of your question? Like a human would.
So it's like a super smart, like, research assistant that can just instantly analyze all your company's data and be like, here are the most relevant insights.
Exactly, like a super-powered research assistant. And here's the even more interesting part. This system learns and adapts. So the more your team uses it, the more it figures out, okay, this is their jargon, these are their preferences, even the nuances of really complex topics.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all. It's constantly changing,
Right.
tailoring itself to your company.
Exactly.
Now, that is smart.
Yeah.
Okay. But with all this AI and all this company data, like, what about security? How are they handling that?
Yeah, that's a big question. I mean, that's a crucial question. And Realm seems to have thought about that. They talk a lot about single-tenant architecture. That's like a key security feature for them.
Single-tenant architecture.
Mhm.
It sounds like something out of Star Trek. Can you explain that a bit more?
Okay, so imagine this. Your company's information, it's like it has its own private, secure vault. And it's in Realm's system, right? But it's totally separate, not mixed with other companies' data or anything like that.
Okay.
And then they use encryption and then all these permission controls to really lock down who can see what, especially sensitive information.
Okay, so they're serious about security and data privacy,
Seems like it.
which is good. That's reassuring.
Nah.
But I'm still a little skeptical.
Right.
You know, a lot of companies talk a big game about AI,
Right.
but then it never quite, the reality doesn't live up to the hype.
Yeah.
So what makes Realm different? I mean, what's the evidence that this is more than just a flashy pitch deck?
Well, for one, they've gotten some pretty serious investors. Like
Yeah.
the best AI video, they were saying they had a significant seed round. Big name venture capitalists.
Interesting.
So these investors, they clearly see something, right? They're betting on Realm to change things. And not just like, oh, better search engines. The entire way we work with knowledge, especially, and this is their phrase, fast-moving B2B teams.
Fast-moving B2B teams. That sounds like every tech startup's, like, dream customer.
Right.
What did that even mean in this context? And, like,
Yeah.
how does Realm actually address those needs?
Yeah, you're right. It is a bit of a buzzword, fast moving. But I think what they're trying to get at is think about teams in sales, marketing, customer support, product development, like anybody who needs information really quickly, to make decisions or get things done.
So it's less about doing research and more about, like, I need this one crucial piece of information
Yeah.
right now
Exactly.
so I can close this deal or fix this problem or make this decision.
Precisely.
Okay, so how does this actually, work in real life? Because Realm's website, they give some pretty impressive examples.
Right. Yeah, they do. They have some good ones.
Yeah.
Like imagine, okay, you're on a sales call
Right.
and a potential client's like, hey, what about this one feature? And instead of like scrambling to find the answer, putting them on hold, you just pull it up in Realm. documentation, case studies,
Wow.
even pricing information, like right there on the call.
So it's like having all that knowledge at your fingertips.
Exactly.
No more searching through shared drives, trying to remember who had that file.
Exactly. Or think about customer support, right? I mean, those folks, they are on the front lines, dealing with questions all day long.
Most stressful job.
Right. And with Realm, boom, instant access. Products manuals, troubleshooting guides. I think they even said something about, like, seeing past customer interactions
Wow.
so they can give people answers quicker, more accurate information.
Right, which means happier customers.
Exactly.
Fewer complaints,
Yeah.
better reviews, everybody wins.
Absolutely. And it's not just, the teams that are customer facing. Think about engineers. I mean, how much time do engineers waste just trying to understand code that somebody else wrote?
Oh, it's got to be a ton of time.
Right. If they could just instantly access that code, documentation, whatever they need,
Right.
or even like get an answer from like the combined knowledge of their whole team,
That's interesting.
instantly they could be building new stuff so much faster.
So instead of deciphering code, they can actually innovate.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
And onboarding. Think about new hires.
Oh, yeah.
Starting a new job, it's overwhelming. Instead of just throwing information at them or making them hunt down documents,
Right.
Realm could create a personalized learning path.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just give them exactly what they need when they need it.
That's amazing. So they can actually get up to speed and contribute faster.
Exactly.
Wow. It does sound almost too good to be true. But okay, let's switch gears for a second. Because Realm, they've been, I don't know, putting themselves in this lineage of inventions, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say they're like the printing press, like Google.
Yeah.
Those are some bold claims.
Yeah, it's a big vision.
Yeah.
They're talking about fundamentally changing the way we use and access knowledge.
Right. Yeah.
Like the printing press made it possible to share information on a huge scale. And Google made it easy to find stuff online, but Realm wants to go further. They want to make that information understandable and actionable instantly.
So it's not just about finding the needle in the haystack anymore, right? It's about understanding the needle. What does it mean? How does it all fit together?
Yeah, like how can I use this needle?
Right, exactly.
And that's where things get really interesting, I think, if they can actually pull this off,
Yeah.
This could change things in a big way, not just like, oh, we're a little more productive now. Like the way our organizations, how they actually work.
So we've been talking about boosting productivity,
Right.
making work easier.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're saying this is bigger than that.
It is.
Realm's talking about changing how we think about knowledge itself.
Yeah, it's almost like
Wow.
a philosophical shift,
Right.
Because right now, information equals power, right? Like
Yeah.
the more you have access to,
Right.
the better decisions you can make, the more you can lead.
Yeah.
You're the one with the answers.
So the person with the most bookmarks wins.
In a way, yeah. But Realm's saying, what if we could change that? What if everyone had that same level of access? Imagine, right, the newest person on your team, they ask the right questions.
Right.
They can suddenly have the same level of understanding as, the CEO.
That would shake things up, wouldn't it?
Totally. I mean, think about it. No more hoarding information to get ahead, right?
Yeah.
It could lead to a much more, level playing field. Expertise is shared no matter who you are or what your title is.
It sounds amazing, in theory.
Yeah.
But be honest, how realistic is this? I mean, companies don't just give up control like that.
Yeah, you're right. That's the challenge, right? You need a culture shift, a real commitment to transparency. I don't know if Realm's going to be the one to single-handedly create this utopia of knowledge sharing,
Right.
But they are making people ask the question.
Yeah, that's a good point.
How should we be thinking about knowledge? How should it work?
So for our listeners today, I mean, what's the takeaway here? Should we all be gearing up for this Realm-powered future?
I think whether Realm becomes the next Google or not, the takeaway is pay attention, right? These technologies are coming and they could really change things.
So stay curious, stay informed,
Exactly.
and maybe brush up on those natural language processing skills, right? Just in case.
There you go. That's a great idea.
This has been fascinating, really. I don't know, we don't get to talk about the future of knowledge every day.
I know, right?
Thanks for diving in with us today. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Keep those brains buzzing.
See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.